guys. Today we are looking at my Boomstick. So this blaster started its life out as an xshot eliminator. That's what the main blaster is right here with the pull handle and everything. And the stock is actually a Activision video game gun stock. I found one at a thrift store and they've been working for this integration. If you see my shorts, you know I built one before this. This is the third iteration that I've done of this. That last one was the second, and I have a post on my Instagram about the first. So, yeah, I don't post the most videos on progress, but I wanted to get this one out there to show the concept because by 3, I should definitely have a video on it. The integration's pretty simple. All you really do is chop the handles and blend them together. You can see that right up there. The paint isn't the best on this. I did this when the weather was about 40 degrees. So the paint didn't stick the best, but the integration itself is pretty clean. That's the main integration right there. And it kind of just blends in with the paint mark, and from back here you really can't even tell anything happened at all. So it looks pretty good. So to fire this blaster, all you do is you take some darts. I'm going to use half darts, and you load it up in the front. Pull the charging handle back, and it's a pretty heavy spring, so you gotta use some strength, and then you fire. It has a pretty loud pop, and the darts go flying pretty good out of this thing. These things have notoriously large plunger tubes, and as long as you can eliminate the dead space between the rotation mechanism inside, you can get some pretty good power out of them. Speaking of that, on the internals of this thing, I added brass barrels up front, an elimination of the internal rotation mech by adding barrels material inside the breech and everything to get it all shortened, lengthened, and doing all that jazz in there. If you saw Captain Xavier's video, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I just followed his guide, basically. And then a long shot spring upgrade, and this thing is hitting pretty good, and it's a pretty fun blaster to use. Another really cool thing about this blaster is you can actually load 4 short darts up front. I already have 2 loaded in here, so I'm loading in an extra 2 for a total of 4, and it gives you a pretty good shotgun blast. But yeah, this blaster saved my life a couple times at the HVZ because, not this current blaster, but the first iteration of it, just so we're clear. But just a blaster like this, having it on your side, I am going to add a key ring down here so there's a sling point, and so you can just have it on your hip primed, and when somebody rushes you, you can just pull it up and pop 4 darts right in their face. And it's a pretty good blaster for that, and it does very, very well at that, saving your life in those crucial moments. So I always like having a blaster like this, and I really like the xshot eliminator's looks, and I like the way it functions, and I really like the length of pull of this stock integration together. That's why I've used it so many times. It's super duper comfy, and you can get a really good sight picture on it. And even though it has some black on it and everything, it relatively looks like a toy, mostly with the big orange tip and the big orange handle, and the big blue accents. I mean, it looks more like a toy than anything, but some of you will probably disagree. But, you know, it is what it is. So for the externals of this blaster, I went with a green metallic flake job. That was achieved by doing 2 different types of green on top of each other and just kind of flaking them on top of each other until you got a good effect. And it looks pretty nice. I'll show a picture up here too of it in the light. It looks pretty good. And over that, I went with some blue accents with some pink accents actually, and it turned out pretty good. They're all Citadel brush paints, and the black is just black Rust-Oleum, and the green is just Rust-Oleum paints just flaked together. So it turned out pretty good though. Even though I had some paint issues with the stock, the rest of the blaster looks really good, and that's mostly what matters, so I'm pretty happy with it. Alright guys, so enough talking about it. Let's go out to the range and see what it's doing. I'll try to get some chronograph numbers, but just be known it's shooting 2 darts at the same time, so it's kind of going to be hard to chronograph, but I'll try my best. We will get some range footage. Yeah, here we're out on the range, and we are going to be shooting for that target. We are not going to hit that target, I can tell you that. This blaster is not meant for long range. It is meant for a shotgun blast. It will be shooting about half that distance, but we will get you guys a good view here. There you go, you can kind of see that. So all you do to load it is just put 2 short darts right in the brass breech. Well, it's not really a breech, but it's more like a barrel. Then you prime it back. And then you fire. And then you can also just do 2 short darts for a little bit of a longer range. So we'll do that now. We're going to start with 2 darts at a time and see if it can read it. 80 for 2 darts. 86 for 2 darts. And 80. 92. 90. And now we're going to try for 1 dart. So I'm going to plug my finger over the 1 barrel and just shoot 1 dart. 88. 'Plug in the barrel again. 94. And 89. So yeah, as you guys can see, this isn't the most powerful blaster ever, but it's doing some pretty good work shooting 4 darts at once, and that's the main purpose of it, to have that shotgun spread and to be able to ensure you're going to tag somebody with that hit. It's kind of like a blunderbuss in that way. You have 1 shot, and that's your shot to hit. So you kind of got to make it count. But yeah, you can see it's performing pretty well, and the blaster looks pretty good, and it's very comfortable. And it's the only thing that really needs to be done to it is to add the key ring down at the bottom so I can sling it on my side. Other than that, it's pretty much complete. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video on my Boomstick. That's what I'm calling it to help with the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this kind of content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day.